Immigration reform survived its first major test on the Senate floor this afternoon. Senators overwhelmingly voted to allow a full debate on the plan to improve border security and create a path toward citizenship. It still appears to be a bipartisan battle. The so-called Gang of Eight, who drafted the bill, campaigned for its future. But many conservatives are promising a fight. President Obama is urging a compromise. This is a big issue that's expected to create a lot of heat on Capitol Hill. So what's ahead? Joining me live now is NBC News political director and chief White House correspondent Chuck Todd. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Well, Chuck, I was looking into this today, and it seems like the Gang of Eight, as they're called, in the Senate was able to really touch on some of the biggest sticking points regarding immigration reform with this legislation. Seems to include some of the key points. How do you think it's going to be received?
Well, I think getting it passed in the Senate is not going to be hard. That you could argue and say they already have the 60 votes that they need. The question is going to be, though, whether they can get 70 or even 75 votes. The way this sort of political theater is going to play itself out is it all depends on the size of the majority that passes this immigration bill, of whether the House and Republican Speaker John Boehner feels as if there's enough political cover from him. There's an overwhelming majority in the Senate, nearly 3/4 of senators who support this immigration bill. There is no way he can not bring it to the floor of the House. And if he brings that bill to the floor of the House, I promise you it's going to get the 218 votes. Now, the makeup of it may be more Democrats and Republicans in the House, but the bill's going to pass. However, if you only have a handful of Republicans, say less than 10, that end up supporting this legislation in the Senate, then John Boehner's going to say, you know what, it's not worth bringing it to the House because it'll cause all sorts of political problems on the right for Republicans. So what kind of reception does it get in the Senate, and how many Senate Republicans vote for this thing will tell us whether this will end up on the president's desk to sign by, say, Labor Day.
Interesting to watch. You know, why is there this new commitment to this issue? Why now?
Well, this is to do with two things. Two things are coming together here. For Democrats, they've been promising Hispanics an immigration bill for years. And if they aren't able to come through now, Hispanics very important to the president's reelection. It's one of those things that could turn Hispanic voters away from Democrats in the next 2 to 4 years. For Republicans, they got throttled in the 2012 election by Hispanics. The lowest level of support among Hispanics, perhaps nearly ever, for Mitt Romney. They know they need to get this issue behind them if they can ever have conversations with Hispanic Americans about other issues. Hispanic Americans tuned out Republicans because of the negative rhetoric on immigration that some in the Republican Party caused. If they can get this behind them, they can start over.
Okay. NBC's Chuck Todd, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate your insight. And stay right here for updates on the immigration reform battle. You know, NBC Nightly News will have reaction from Capitol Hill, of course, and what still lies ahead in this debate. That's at 6:30 right here on Wood TV 8.